The new moon sets the template for the entire lunar cycle, for the entire month to follow. And welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Medium channel. So it's very important that we know what's happening right on the moment of the new moon, what's going on with the astrology, the numerology. And of course, as I do my live streams, a lot of what I'm sharing is actually what Spirit is sharing with me also. So, anyways, welcome to the Medium channel, where we bring you the spirituality behind the message to help you in the awakening process in this time and place where so much is changing, so much is unraveling, but so much new knowledge and new energy is coming in. So it's really a beautiful time to be alive, albeit very challenging. And I already need some water. So if you're watching this live, welcome to the live people. If you're watching this as a video, well, I usually give the live people just a minute or two to get their notifications so they can catch this from the beginning. So I'll do that. I'll hold off for just a second. Well, we're going to start in just a moment. And so far, well, there's a few people coming on live. So hi, Susan, and hi to the Soul family, and hi, Pauline, and everybody else that's here right now. Hello. And it's a beautiful, warm, sunny day today. I guess bordering on hot since it's in the mid and upper 80s today. And good news, Sri. Okay, well, very good. Well, I'm not here to do astrology readings. I'm here to talk about the astrology of this new moon. And hello there, Doreen. So, hi. Hi, everybody. So, I don't know. Have we given the live people enough time to get their notifications? Hi, Pandora. I think that we have. And there's actually 7 points. I know in the title it says 5 things you need to know, but there's actually 7. So I'm going to change the title when this is done. So hi Barbara and hi Claire. Okay, and hi Laura. So people are starting to come and people are starting to find us. Very good. So let's talk about this new moon. Did I write the day and time down? Yes, I did. The new moon is on August the 27th, unless you live, say, in Hawaii or in some of the islands west of the west coast of the US, but east of the international date line. There is the 26th. For most of us, it's the 27th. Here on the East Coast, it's at 4:17 a.m. And I have notes, so that's why I keep looking down, because I'm going to be referring to my notes a lot because I can't keep all the stuff in my head. But luckily, with pen and paper, I can do a better job. So here, what's going on with this particular new moon? It's at 4 degrees Virgo. 4 degrees is Uranus ruled numerology. Virgo is ruled by Mercury. So Mercury and Uranus are the primary players in this lunar cycle. And as I go on, let me explain some of the days. This is also happening in a universal 23 day in numerology, which reduces to 5. 5 is also Mercury ruled. So Mercury and Uranus play an important role. They're very akin. And I look at Uranus as the higher octave of Mercury. Mercury's of the mind, Mercury's of movement, Mercury's of communication. Uranus is of the higher mind. Uranus is sudden change. It can be very revolutionary. It can connect us with like-minded people, with groups and societies and organizations that are aligned to spirituality. It tends to be a planet of spiritual growth, but it can also cause very explosive change, and it can have a very revolutionary effect to it. So let's see what's going on with the aspects. Then I'll talk about the 5 different things. So I have these all in bullet points. So there are influences that bring in movement and change. Uranus is very powerful. Okay, we talked about that. So even though new moons tend to be kind of low energy, and the sign Mercury, it's the sign Virgo, it's Mercury ruled. But Virgo is, I wouldn't say a low energy sign, but it tends to be a little bit more slow moving. People that have predominance of Virgo in the chart tend to be more low key people. and tend to be more intellectually oriented. But given all the aspects that's going on and the fact that Uranus is a major player, this new moon's going to be anything but lack of energy. This is going to be a highly energetic and highly charged new moon. And we're starting to feel it already. So firstly, Mars. So Mars, I would call that the tertiary main player of this new moon. And Mars is going to be squaring at 4 degrees from 4 degrees Gemini. Now Mars is going to spend 7 months in Gemini because it's going to go retrograde then direct again in the same sign. So we're starting a 7-month cycle where Gemini, Mercury, and Mars are going to be major players. So this is going to be an exact square on the day of the new moon. So that's important. Gemini is Mercury ruled, so that's important. And this aspect is going to add tension, especially around authority figures, and stuff like that. So squares add tension. And when Mars is involved, it can be about our energy. It can be about the authority. It can be about, Mars is the god of war. So just think that also when you're looking at that. Now, Mercury is going to come into a harmonious trine with Mars. So that's going to help. This is not all doom and gloom, by the way. This is very positive information I'm sharing with you today. I just want to say that in advance, just so you don't get the wrong idea. But awareness, like be aware of the challenges. That's challenges are greatest teacher. Awareness of the challenge will assist us in overcoming and moving through the challenges while benefiting from the positivity that comes from this lunar cycle that we're going into. Now, so Mercury comes into a very harmonious trine with Mars, and that's going to help to align our thoughts with action. And that's important because there's other aspects that kind of get us into this mindset, almost of a knee-jerk reaction mindset. But the fact that the new moon is in Virgo and that Mercury is going to trine Mars, Mercury is the major player in this, is going to be very helpful. Mercury's also going to be in its approach to its retrograde. So is Mars. So we'll talk a little bit about that when we get to the review part, because that's what retrogrades are about. They're about review. They're about stepping back. They're going into more the sedentary phase or aspects of that certain planet that is happening. So when the approach happens, that means that basically that the planets are slowing down and getting ready to go station and then direct. We start to feel the effects with that already. So flipping the page, Venus and Uranus will square directly 18 degrees Leo with Uranus, 18 degrees 18 degrees Leo with Venus, and 18 degree with Leo. Venus 18 degrees Leo and Uranus 18 degrees Taurus. So this helps to bring about completions, actually. It challenges the money systems. Remember, Uranus is very revolutionary, sudden changes. Venus is often about our creature comforts, amongst other things. This can affect our personal security, but it can be a strong catalyst to spiritual awakening and can help clear old traumas. It can help open the heart. Venus is very heart-centered energy. Saturn, Uranus will also be in a square. Saturn will be about 20 degrees Aquarius, so it's not an exact square, but certainly close enough. So this is going to be what I would call a Uranus dominant square, because Saturn is in Uranus's ruling sign right now, which is Aquarius, which is, again, very revolutionary. So Uranus wins that battle between Saturn and Uranus, if you want to call it a battle. So we're going to continue to see a lot of challenges with the structure of society. In fact, it's likely to ramp up. So structure of society, mass thinking, etc., and will be assisted. It will assist in our spiritual learning, but it can be very challenging if we resist our spiritual learning and our spiritual growth. Keep that in mind also for the next 28, 29 days during this cycle. Also, Uranus conjuncts the new moon. Uranus conjuncts the North Node, and Venus is squaring the North and South Node. So these are just a couple of things. There's a few other aspects. If Sharita ever pops into one of these, she can clue you into what those are. But that's good. So here are the 7 things, not 5 like it says on the title, the 7 things that we need to know. Um, Number one, all new moons, no matter what the aspects are doing or whatever, are about new beginnings. It's a new cycle. It's a new 28 and a half, 29-day cycle, depending on the time of the year. So great time for new beginnings. Any new beginnings that are positive are going to get a boost, especially within, I'd say, 3 or 4 days of the new moon itself. Again, new moon is Saturday morning. We're virtually there. We're in the dark moon phase right now. So while this energy is starting to settle in, this is a good time to do any last minute clearings, to clear any negative, blocking, challenging energies from your aura, from your life, from your space, etc. That way you can enter into this new lunar cycle with a clean slate. This is a good thing. That's number one. Number two, thing to know about this new moon, it's excellent for organizing things. If your life is spinning out of control, use this energy to reorganize things. Yesterday, Heather, who does our healings, but she also helps me with my YouTube and my editing, helped me to organize things on my computer yesterday. They were just like in one file in one place, one in another. I mean, it was mad chaos. And also, by the way, Uranus has a very technological energy associated to it. Your Mercury can be very, hard. Your Mercury retrograde can be hard on the technology. So can Mars retrograde. So organization, Uranus energy can be chaotic and disruptive, but the sign Virgo and stationing Mercury, Virgo is a very organized sign. And as Mercury is stationing, that enhances that organizational quality. So get your shelves in order, get your files together. The universe is going to back you up on that. So that's number two. Number two. Okay. Number three is review, revise, plan. Remember, we're going into retrograde season with Mercury followed by Mars. Both planets are in their approach, but Mercury moves much, much faster than Mars does. So Mars stays in an approach for roughly 2 months, where the Mercury approach is roughly 2 weeks. So Mercury's going to go retrograde on the 10th of September, when Mars, I believe it's the 30th of October when the official retrograde begins. So, so this is a good time. Again, the retrograde, anything with the prefix RE works on the retrograde. Review, revise, all that stuff. So things that are a little bit chaotic or out of hand, or things that need to be reviewed, do that. It's a good time to really strategize. Mercury and Virgo are great strategists. It's a good time to be strategic, to kind of step back a little bit, to maybe focus a little bit more on yourself and maybe a little bit less on pushing forward. When these retrogrades come in, we're supposed to go a little bit more inward. And these retrogrades can really help us. The Mars aspect can help us to review our physical bodies and physical actions. So it's a good time to maybe review your exercise, your diet, and all that kind of stuff. And then Mercury is about movement and all that kind of stuff. And it's about, the mind and moving forward and all that stuff. So it's better to, again, to step back a little bit during that. So I'm losing the number. 1, 2, 3. I think number 4. What I wrote down is write that book, make that video, prepare that course. The universe is going to help you. This retrograde energy is going to be really, really good for that, combined with the other aspects. Let your voice be heard. These aspects favor thinking and acting outside of the box. That Uranus energy will do that. It favors originality. So keep that in mind also. When you are writing your book or writing your song or painting your masterpiece or whatever it is, come from a place of originality, come from a place of the heart. So number 5 is double down on your spiritual practices. And it's a new cycle. Work with meditation and presence a lot. Again, the retrogrades are good for that. Work with the heart center. These are the keys to opening up spiritually, opening and expanding the frequencies of the heart. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. And whatever your spiritual practice is, this is the time to really dive deeper into it for a lot of reasons. The lunar cycle favors that. Again, with the squares with Uranus and all the energies that are coming, you can get very disorganized, very chaotic, very easily. Use that Mercury energy and that retrograde energy to keep you grounded, to keep you centered, and doubling down on your spiritual practice is important for a lot of reasons for that. So number 6 is, I think we're on number 6, if I can still count. This will bring up a lot of karma. Karma is not a negative thing. Karmas are learning, our lessons and growth. Given all the aspects that are happening, I don't know if I wrote any of them down here. One thing is we can have breakthroughs. The Uranus aspects and all that's going on is very conducive to spiritual breakthroughs. Saturn is at play due to, I forgot the aspect, but we mentioned it earlier. Saturn is the planet of lessons, karma, and hard work. So you put it all together, and this is also, what I downloaded from Spirit. I wasn't even going to include this. This is why it increased from 5 to 6 and then to 7, because Spirit gave me more information. Understand the nature of karma, treat it as a lesson and a growth experience. Learn that lesson, do the work. And once you overcome whatever the lesson is, you clear that karma and you never have to do it again. So you utilize these energies. Everything's accelerating in the quantum realities and in the energies that are affecting the Earth. The cosmic radiation, all that stuff is accelerating. But we want to ascend, whether you call it ascending to the 5D or having a spiritual awakening or whatever terminology you use for that. The energies are becoming more and more conducive for that. And it used to be when I had my awakening, that was back in the late 70s. It used to be that, you would spend a lifetime or maybe lifetimes, at the foot of the master and service, and then practicing and studying and developing in order to achieve enlightenment. Now, today, you still have to do the work, but because the energy's stronger and higher, more conducive to that, and more people are waking up, so you have that boost from collective consciousness also. You don't have to do quite as much as you used to, basically. But you do have to work through the karmic aspects of whatever's holding you back. And you do have to be aware of the programming and counter and clear that programming. All this Uranus stuff, all this Mercury stuff is going to be really good for that. And number 7, much more to come out in the news. And for those of you that tuned into my August, I think it was the psychic predictions, when I talked about a lot more coming up around Trump in the news. That was literally days before the FBI raids. And we'll talk on Tarot Time a little bit more about the possible meanings and repercussions of that and what that can mean. But there's certainly leaves open to a lot of speculation. The thing is, don't speculate. Be in your heart, be in your center, and be in your power. And take things in the news with a grain of salt, whether it's coming from mainstream news, whether it's coming from a spiritual source or whatever. Programming is so deep and so rampant. To really understand things, you really have to be in the heart center. But more probably coming out about what's going on with Donald Trump. Just as a little sneak preview, that one possibility is that who's ever behind Trump, I don't think this would be Trump himself. This could be like their way of trying to do, I don't want to say overthrow the country, but to affect wide-scale changes in the country that may seem like a revolution or a civil war. So, I mean, there may be criminal activity involved in it, but on the other hand, this could also be something akin to the powers that be being so worried about him running and maybe getting elected in 2024 that they're either exaggerating or fabricating things in order to undermine that. Now, I personally don't have enough information to know which it is, and it may not be either the above. It may be a whole different meaning, but point is, we're going to start to get more and more information about that. Some of it's going to be misleading and leading in a different direction, through the programming of society, that benefits the select few, while it funnels money out of the pockets of ordinary people. But again, we'll get a little bit more into that later on. So those are the things to know about this. And I wanted to finish up by talking about, well, I'm going to finish up by drinking more water. Must be a little dehydrated today. And I have 5 different things written down as practices that Spirit is recommending to us, myself, this community, people that are attracted to the medium channel. Um, Number one, and we talked about this before, we'll talk about it more again as we move forward, is to work on and really do the practice called heart brain coherence or something akin to that. Now, it's about a year ago, maybe a little bit more, that I started to get interested in this, and Spirit told me this is going to be basically like a key, if not the most important development in the 2020s as far as spiritual practices go. There's more information on the channel about that. I'm going to actually do an online course about how to do heart brain coherence. You can use it for manifestation. You can use it for healing. You can use it to open up more to spirit. But the thing is that as you become coherent in the heart through injecting high levels of compassion, gratitude, and love, and you sit with that, that it also activates your brain. And once these two organs become in aligned again, because they are connected, you have brain cells in your heart, or one type of brain cells in your heart. There's more and more evidence, thanks to Heart Math Institute and others, coming out about this practice that shows if you can really own and hold gratitude and practice that 10 minutes at a time 3 times a day, and then even in between hold that presence of gratitude, that's going to do so many benefits. It's just mind blowing how that can change your life in a positive way, and how that can be the centerpiece of your awakening. Next to presence itself, and of course, you need to apply presence to do heart brain coherence. This is the most important thing that we need to know during this awakening cycle, expanding the frequencies of the heart. The powers that be that want to profit off of us do not want our hearts open, because then if our hearts are incoherent, our brains are incoherent, and we're easily led in the wrong direction. Doing this allows you to be a sovereign, free thinking individual, aligned with spirit and source, and aligned with higher energies to heal yourself from things that doctors don't know how to heal yet, like cancer. People have done it. I'm not saying it's going to work for everybody 100% of the time, but I'll just put it this way, that the implications are astounding. And I do believe, because I've healed things that doctors couldn't heal. And a lot of it was through expanding my heart and using visualization and law of attraction techniques. This is going to be big, but that, again, understand the structure of things. And I'm not talking about conspiracies or anything like that. Just what's known is that large corporations pretty much dictate what goes on in politics, what goes on in the media. There's something called lobbying that happens, with primarily with the Congress in this country, but it can happen with the Senate also. Big corporations lobby for certain edicts to be and laws to be passed down that really benefit more the corporation. Long story short, is there's a lot of profit that goes into you not being healthy. A lot of parties profit, starting with the big pharmaceutical companies and so forth. So again, this is just what is. It's not a conspiracy. This is and there's so many examples of this, and we'll just start with one of the obvious here, is that that there's actually a limit of how much like arsenic can be in baby food, and how much cadmium and other heavy metals can be in baby food. And it's been proven through scientific studies that this really affects the health of a baby, that in some cases are irreversible. And then people wind up having autoimmune issues, or they get cancer. And of course, it doesn't mean, A doesn't necessarily mean B, but there's a correlation. And, I've been looking at this for years, and I just shake my head. It's like, why, with the most vulnerable, section of our population, is anything more than zero considered okay by our Food and Drug Administration, amongst other entities. So anyway, um, so that's heartbreak coherence. Sorry, got off on a little tangent here. I get passionate about this stuff. I want everybody to be healthy, happy, whole, and free is really where I'm coming from. So number two is that spirit wants us to do something to clear the past during this time. Retrogrades are really good at that. So maybe make up with a family member or a friend. Seek the truth behind the challenges. This is a spiritual exercise they're recommending for this time. Own your part of the problem, but do that without going into guilt, shame, and all that other stuff. Guilt, shame, fear, all that other stuff, because that lowers your vibration to a point where you start to not be able to attract good things, and it plays on your health. We all make mistakes. We all have a hand in the interpersonal problems that go on in our lives. We're human. We're here to grow. We're here to awaken. We're not here to be perfect. So when you start to own things and when you start to heal relationships like that, and you own your part of it, don't feel guilty or shameful, feel empowered by that. So that was number two. Number three is do a lot of grounding exercises. Mercury is an earth sign. It's very grounding energy. And they're saying to use your body review. In other words, scan your body. You can go into meditation, get very present, and then place your consciousness, say, in your stomach. And what does that feel like to you? Does your stomach feel happy or sad? Does it feel expansive or contractive? You can use your awareness of energy to scan different parts of your body and to understand what areas have low energy, what areas have high energy, what areas are obstructed or blocked, what areas are maybe overactive. So so that's good. Grounding, the earth and the body have a synoptic, is that the right word? They have a connection anyway. You know, our bodies are basically our personal earth, so to speak, and everything in our bodies came from the earth. So so of course you part of this whole thing about grounding and exercise. It's really about taking care of your body. So maybe review your diet also, right? Review your personal habits. Are they healthy, or could you upgrade on that? This Uranus energy is going to be an amazing time to change your habits, because Uranus is about revolutionary change. It's about spirituality. The only reason we have habits is because the subconscious mind is a survival mechanism, or part of our subconscious is to help us to survive. And the subconscious mind will always seek order. It will feel threatened by change. So that's one of the reasons that it's so hard to change our habits. Our subconscious mind gets uncomfortable, then we get uncomfortable, then we have a really hard time holding the new habit. But if we keep doing it day in and day out, then the subconscious mind starts to recognize the new habit is what you need to survive, and then it starts to get easier. So starting is always the hardest part, but this is an excellent new moon to change any unhealthy habits in your life. Um, so number four is to begin a new spiritual routine, which kind of goes along the same lines. Go out into nature again, double down on your spiritual practice. We talk about nature a lot. We need that balance. Go out, feel the energies, feel the flows of nature. Send the energy to different parts of your body. That's a healing technique that you can use also. But first, you have to go out into nature. You have to learn to be present. You have to learn to open your heart so you can start to feel the subtle flows of energy through you and around you. Once you feel that, you can direct it with your consciousness and mind to heal yourself, to heal others, and to heal Mother Earth. So go out into nature, do that. Earth sign, very nature oriented. Virgo loves the trees. It's green is the color of Virgo, I believe. Where's Sharita? No, Sharita's not in. I can't call on her to correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that I'm right. Anyways, and then the last thing that I wrote down is more about writing and journaling. So journaling is a really valuable practice in your spiritual growth. Do more writing, more journaling. When you write, it can be a law of attraction exercise, because when you write, you take energy, which is your thoughts and ideas, and you turn them into physical matters, which is the words that you're writing. Is that or is that not law of attraction, taking energy and creating form out of that? Writing can be a hugely powerful law of attraction technique. Anything that's done in repetition, the subconscious mind adapts that as a new program and seeks to create that for you. So when you do your manifestation work, you must repeat day after day after day, whether it's affirmation, whether it's writing or whatever. And then your subconscious mind will kick in and you'll behave differently in the world around you, more conducive to manifesting your desires. Your vibration will change, which will change the vibration around you. And the vibration over time changes physical matter, because your vibration instantaneously changes quantum matter or subatomic matter. The physical universe is dense. Just because you change the quantum doesn't mean that your physical world is going to change immediately. It may take days, months, or even years, but it will happen. And writing is a really, really good tool for that. Again, journaling or doing writing, or if you are a writer, this is a good month to start to pick up on it again. And anyway, that is what I have. So no uploads, no Thursday uploads today or next Thursday. We'll resume after Labor Day with that. But Sunday, we'll be back at 11 a.m. for tarot time. Thank you for you guys for being here, for listening. And I love you. And we'll see you at the next video. Good night or good morning.